So as many of you have probably guessed, I did not get up at 5 a.m. this morning. I know, shocker. Something about the sunlight out here kind of gives that away. I didn't do terribly great yesterday either. I didn't get up, but at least today I got out and I still went on a walk. I had something else that I was thinking about talking about today, but because of yesterday, I decided that maybe it's time to start addressing something that a lot of you may not be super familiar with. And that's the taboo subject of depression. There's a lot of people out there who don't believe that depression is real. There's a lot of people who think that depression is just feeling sad about something, being upset, or any number of far too simplistic excuses or reasonings. Guys, it's not that. I have worked very hard to hide my own depression from the people around me. Partially because I don't want to be a burden upon them, and partially because, honestly, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed of my own mental illnesses. And depression is one of the big ones. I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder when I was 17 years old. And that diagnosis hasn't ever gone away. It's still true. It's still very much active and alive in my life. The problem is that a lot of people don't understand what depression really genuinely is. It's not somebody who's not trying. It's not somebody who just needs to toughen up. It's not somebody who needs a pep talk or who, just needs to push through it and knuckle down. Depression, my friends, is a legitimate illness. It is a medical condition. It is a literal imbalance of neurotransmitters in your brain. It's not it's people say it's all in your head. Well, yeah, it is, but it's in the part of my head that actually controls everything. The Reader's Digest version is that depression, so in your brain you've got a whole bunch of, that's going to sound lovely on the video. In your brain you have a whole bunch of tiny pairs of cells called neurons. And those neurons fire chemical signals back and forth. This is the very simplified version. Neuroscientists don't tear me to shreds. I'm doing the best I can here. The chemicals that actually are used to send the signals back and forth to the brain are the neurotransmitters. When the levels of said neurotransmitters get out of whack in your own body, everything starts to break apart and things go wonky. And wonky is a nice way of putting it. Basically, anything that affects your mental state is a change in neurotransmitters. Something as simple as drinking too much alcohol alters the neurotransmitters in your body. Any of the drugs that we hear about, people overdosing on or taking recreationally, that alters your neurotransmitters, changes the very chemistry of your brain. What happens in a lot of people who have depression is that the neurotransmitters that are responsible for, saying they're responsible for feeling good is an oversimplification, but it's the best one I've got. The things, the chemicals, your dopamine, your serotonin, and your norepinephrine, those chemicals are responsible for our feelings of contentment, of well-being, of happiness, of just being normal. They're incredibly necessary. If those levels drop, then everything goes to crap. The second one of those neurotransmitters goes out of alignment, it causes essentially a cascading failure in the entire thought process in the brain. Depression is not just being sad. It's not just not trying hard enough. It is your brain genuinely not functioning properly. Yesterday I had a major depressive spike. Very serious one. I have been on and off antidepressant medications for years. For most of my adult life. I'll get on them for a while, they do me some good, and then usually circumstances force me to stop them. This time around was a little bit different. I did something that was probably stupid in most people's eyes, but the weird thing about antidepressants is they can get to a point where they start making things worse. A lot of people don't realize this. Your antidepressants can actually aggravate your symptoms. Now, please understand, if you're taking them, don't stop taking them. Talk to your doctor, which is what I should have done. But I've been fighting this fight a long time, and I had a pretty good idea. So I've been doing pretty good. I've actually been antidepressant free for probably close to 4 months now. Everything is actually stabilized out and balanced out really well, but yesterday, everything just tanked. I can honestly say I haven't been suicidal in 4 months. But that changed yesterday because everything went so horrifically out of whack. Guys, it's not feeling sad. It's not feeling down. It's like your entire foundation of who and what you are gets stripped away from you and torn to shreds. One of the problems I have when talking about depression is trying to describe to people what it feels like, because there's really no analog for it. Depression is the only disease I know whose function it is to rob you of the strength to fight it. That is what depression does. It robs you of your strength to fight back. Depression is painful. I don't know I'm sure people have seen those commercials on TV for, I don't remember which medication it is, but they say depression hurts. Yeah, depression does hurt. Not just mentally, but physically. There's a constant low-level ache that suffuses your entire body because one of the neurotransmitters responsible for fighting pain is too low. So the 1,000 teeny tiny little aches and pains that our bodies ignore every day come back into sharp focus. But depression also hurts on an emotional level too. Honestly, when my depression hits, it feels like a relative has just died. That pervasive, gut-wrenching, deep-level sadness that you cannot shake and that doesn't go away. It's emotional pain. It hurts. There's no logical reason for the pain. That's what's so insidious about it. But it hurts. And when we fight pain, our energy levels drop. And that just perpetuates the cycle. Depression doesn't just hurt. It warps and distorts everything that comes in. Your brain is the computer that controls everything. It controls your inputs and your outputs. All information that comes into your system filters through your brain. And when your entire operating system is off, it screws everything up. It's like the entire world shifts and looks like it's against you. It's not, but it looks like it is. As an example, you can get up in the morning and someone can say, "Hey, nice to see that you're up." Genuinely just happy to see that you're up and moving because they like you around. Well, when I'm in the middle of a depression spike, I don't hear that. What I hear is, "You worthless piece of trash, why aren't you up earlier? You're garbage, you don't deserve to be alive, go kill yourself." I'm not exaggerating. That's what depression does. It warps the inputs. The kindest things, the most well-intentioned things, get warped in translation and twisted, and they come through with the wrong meaning. Yesterday, I was displaying flat-out symptoms of paranoia. Because yesterday, I genuinely believed that the people in my life that love me most hated me. They didn't want me around because I was a burden, because I'm not doing good enough, because I'm not working hard enough, because I don't deserve to exist as a human being. That is what depression is. And it sucks. Thank God I have a loving wife who understands this fight and who is there to support me. Thank God I have somebody who is able to recognize the symptoms and goes, nope, you're getting out of the house, we're getting you your favorite food, and you're sitting with me until you feel better. And who is willing to sit there and keep reminding me, no, you're not a burden. No, I don't hate you. No, the world is not out to get you. I've only scratched the surface of what clinical medical depression is like. I can't communicate it to somebody who's never been through it. I just can't. There's no way to do it. Pray that you don't understand what I'm talking about, because if you don't, it probably means you've never lived with it. But I'm tired of being silent about it.